Welcome to HB RV Lifestyle, the podcast. I am the host, the Honey Badger, here to give it to you straight and transparent about the RV business, as well as other things. The weather here in southern Nevada has finally warmed up to delicious mode, where there's some nice consistency. Let me put it this way. I put away the winter clothes finally, brought out the shorts. My legs are so white, I'm going to blind half of you. So it's just time to get the tan back. Get the RV salesman tan back. That's what I call it. Because if you notice, a lot of guys that work in the sun as salespeople in the RV industry, they're always wearing shorts. And they always have these nice tanned legs. Of course, my legs are not nice right now because I need to get my fat butt in the gym, but I digress. Today, we have some breaking news in the RV industry. A major manufacturer, a big umbrella corporation, is planning on building full electric motorhomes. And I want to read that article and kind of give you my input on it. But first, first, I really want to thank everyone for all their support. Okay? I really do. Between direct messages, or what you call DMs, I've received some texts, emails, comments, etc. And I'm going to say 95% of it has been very positive over this possible Lippert interview. Okay. It's got me kind of excited. I've gone from scared and nervous to excited. But before I proceed, if you have small children around, there is more than likely going to be a little bit of foul language in this episode. So you may want to wait to listen or watch this later, whether you're on Spotify, Amazon, iHeart, Apple Podcasts, or YouTube, wherever you're listening. You may want to wait, okay? Or maybe remove the children out of the room. Okay. So a lot of the questions that have been coming in have been fabulous. Some of them you can feel are anger driven, but I understand the context and read between the lines. So don't, just because you might have a situation where you're really upset or really mad, or you're in the middle of a situation, I can read between the lines and get what you want answered. Okay, so don't be afraid to put some emotion into it if you want to send me some more stuff. If you guys want to help out as well, just remember you can email me at levingstonrvservices@gmail.com. You can send me direct messages through all my social media. Put comments in the YouTube videos if you're watching this on YouTube. It's just an exciting time. It really is, because I've got this motivation now, because on the other side of the 95%, around 5% of you hate the fact that I'm doing this, or have we'll say a politically correct way of telling me that I'm an idiot. Okay? And I understand it. I don't take it personally. I understand where you are coming from. Okay? I'm not an engineer. I'm not a welder. I'm not a I can't go certify a frame. I can't do any of that. And I don't have a team of people like a lot of news anchors or a lot of interviewers to go and do all this research for me. But that's the reason why I asked for all of your guys' help. If you are an engineer, if you are a welder, if you're someone that works on trains and semi-trucks and agriculture trailers, I want to hear from you. I want to hear what you guys would ask. Okay? For some of you, I may set up a phone call. If I can find the time and the time I have coincides with your time, I'd love to speak with people over the phone and kind of get their input. I want to be prepared for this if it's going to happen. And more than likely it will, because it seems like the folks that I'm talking to at Lippert, which again, it's just the beginning stages, but it seems like that there's a mutual want to do this. Okay. Now, for those of you, I got an email. Okay. And this is an example of an email of people who think that I'm the wrong person to do it because I'm in the RV business. Okay. And I get that 100%. And by the way, it's not one person who left a comment on my video. No. Or my last podcast. No. Nothing to do with that. This actually has to do with about 4 or 5 emails sent to me that used my word against me, the word optics, okay, and said because I'm a manager of an RV dealership, and because even though I sell mostly used, I still sell fifth wheels, and so I have too much skin in the game to do this because your goal is going to be to fluff piece this. That's what a lot of folks said, fluff or puff, or used a lot of my own language against me, which is fine. I understand it. Okay, I'm not going to talk shit about it. But I'm going to tell you, like Jack Nicholson says, as the Joker, when it's all said and done, wait until you get a load of me. And I think both sides understand what they want to get out of this. I know Lippert wants to tell their side of the story, and I want to get answers. Because let me tell you something. Let's say that we come out of this with a better understanding of what's going on, and we do this with people that are not nervous in front of camera, and it's a little more organized and a little more prepared, and all the above, and we get the answers we're looking for, and they're solid, they don't feel like flim-flam answers, it's going to benefit the entire industry. Okay, it's going to benefit everybody from Lippert all the way down to the person who buys the RV, all the way to the people selling their fifth wheels. That's the goal at the end of the day, is information. And for the rest of you that tell me my optics are bad, and actually not the optics part, the people that say I'm a clout chaser or I'm just chasing views, I understand that too, because I know from watching other people's videos that you can kind of tell that a lot of the Armageddon side of the RV industry, when it comes to YouTubers, throw out a lot of clickbait. And throw out a lot of stuff that we'll just say has no context to it. Okay? To those of you that say that, I only have one thing to say to you. I originally did not want to do this. Okay? Because let me give you some of the reasons why. I mentioned one earlier. Here's the top 3 reasons why I really didn't want to do this interview. Why I didn't want to be the one to do the factory tour and the camera interview. Number 1, I don't have great sound equipment. I don't have great video equipment. I don't have the money to go out and buy all the equipment to do this properly. Okay? I'm going to try to, I've been offered by several people to let me borrow the equipment if we make it happen. But that was one of the original reasons why I didn't want to do it. The second reason why is because I felt that someone that has 100,000, 120, 150, 200,000 subscribers would have a bigger reach than me. That's why I kept saying Liz Amazing for months. That's the reason why I kept saying I want Liz Amazing to do it. Even though I don't agree with her, even though I don't like her style, I still felt like she should do it because she's got the storytelling down, she's got the editing down, and she has a lot bigger platform to reach more people. Her last video got over 500,000 views. And still climbing. Now, while a lot of people don't get any context in that video, okay, and I understand kind of why she didn't. Realistically, that should have been her. I'm not going to get, this is going to have to be spread by you guys. Now, what I've decided that I'm going to do is I'm not going to do it on the podcast. I made the decision that if we make it happen, this is going on the main channel. And the reason why I think it should go on the main channel is because it has a better chance of reaching the people it needs to. Okay. Will I monetize it? Absolutely. Because there's going to be expenses to doing this, and I want to try to recoup some of those expenses. If it's going to cost me $700, $800, $900, maybe I can recoup that in Google Ads. I'm not going to hide that. And in fact, what I will do is, if this happens, I will fully disclose exactly how much money I make off that video or that set of videos. Because I got nothing to hide. It doesn't matter to me. It's not the money portion of it is a bonus at the end of the day. You know. And here's the other thing. For those of you that really don't think I should do this. If this is successful, whatever way it goes, if there's a trust built and a bridge built, okay, and they have a go-to person that they can say, hey, we're having, an axle recall or something that you guys want to know about, it builds a bridge where I can go ask those questions, put them on camera, put them on record. That bridge gets built for future information. So I appreciate you. I appreciate every one of you that told me that I'm the wrong fucking guy to do it, pretty much. That I'm an idiot, I'm an asshole, I should not be doing it. I appreciate all of you. I appreciate all of you that pretty much tell me that I'm the wrong guy because my optics look bad. I appreciate you. I appreciate your honesty. I'll tell you one thing, it'll do nothing but motivate me to make it better. Okay? That's what it'll do. The other thing I really want to talk about, and I put this on the main channel that's getting released April 18th, is we're in a weird situation with RV loans, mortgages, car loans, boat loans. We are in a weird area. Now, I'm not going to give away the video too much because then you won't go watch it. But I will say this. I make a very bold prediction in that video. And it comes from evidence of what has been said by the Fed. And it's not just Jerome Powell, but when you read some of the stuff from some of the Federal Reserve Committee members, we're not seeing a very robust economy. They use interesting language when it comes to how they define our economy. Okay? Like Jerome Powell is very robotic. I mean, if you think I don't have a personality, that man doesn't even have a pulse. Okay? Not to talk crap about him. I actually, but it takes a lot for me to sit and watch an entire 40-minute video of him talking. Like, I feel like, where's my beer? I need like a 24-pack just to get through it. A 24-pack and 2 cigars. Literally. Like, it's crazy how when that man talks, I almost get put to sleep. But when you listen to him talk, when the mainstream media doesn't start clipping the hell out of his meetings, you get a full understanding of what the committee is thinking about. Go back to December 13th. December 13th, they all thought, the whole mainstream media, real estate investors, stock market people, all assumed that by this month, by April 2024, the Federal Reserve was going to start cutting interest rates. They haven't. Now remember, I made the prediction January 1st, New Year's Day, I made the prediction that they will not lower interest rates at all for the next 18 months. I figured they'd probably start middle of 2025. Oh, you should have seen the comments on that. You're full of crap. You don't know what you're talking about. Didn't you listen to what Mr. Powell said? And I go, yeah, I watched the whole 45-minute thing. I actually watched it 3 bloody times to make sure I got all the information right. But I make a very bold prediction in that video, and I'm releasing it. It's going to get released tomorrow morning, 7:30 a.m. Pacific time. And I think it's going to be a good watch. Nice little 7-minute video. I get kind of straight to the point. But that being said, we have a little bit of a problem in the United States and in Canada. And the problem is what the Federal Reserve thinks, what the government thinks, whether you're a Republican or a Democrat, doesn't matter. This is not politics. This is not being political. This is just how they all look at things. They seem to think that the economy is getting better. Okay? You know, you have your detractors. You have your people that want their 10 minutes of fame or 15 seconds on camera to build their stance, either conservative or liberal. You know, they all sit there and puff their chest out. They all have their feathers out like a bunch of fucking peacocks, right? And they every time they speak, I hear, like, if you guys remember Charlie Brown. Remember Charlie Brown? If you remember Charlie Brown, let me know in the comments section. But remember the adults in Charlie Brown, how they speak whenever they're talking to the kids? You always hear, wah, 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 wah. I don't care if it's Ted Cruz or Alexandria Costa-Cortez. I don't care what politician is speaking. It could be Gavin Newsom. It could be the guy in Florida. God, I can't remember the guy named in Florida. It doesn't matter to me. All I hear is wah, 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 because it seems like everybody has all this hot air to come out of them when it comes to the economy, right? But that middle ground of all the politicians, the ones that don't get in front of the camera, you can tell those people are very careful not to say anything except for the economy's growing. Okay? And by the numbers, they are correct. Our economy grew 3% last year. If you look at all the overall numbers of how we look at how economies grow and shrink, every metric, every analytic, the economy has grown and continues to grow. But that's not how we feel. Okay? I guarantee you, if we sat down with Marcus Lemonis, who is the CEO of Camping World, and we got him off camera, I guarantee you that him and every other person that's in the recreational business, boating, power sports, even cars, are completely shitting their pants right now. Because the reality is when you have the folks that are the bread and butter of this industry, that kind of keep this industry moving, the car industry kind of moving, are not the retirees. You would think so. You would think by the numbers that the retirees, the folks that are empty nesters, would be a big portion of the RV industry. And they are. They're not a small portion, but they're not the biggest portion. Because a lot of times, if you think about it, my buddy Doug and his wife Patty, okay, I think they're in their late 60s now. They go on cruises. They go out boating in big lakes. They don't RV. Okay? They RV'd when they had kids. When they had children, they did the whole camping RVing thing. We are missing that family. That family that used to come out and buy that 24-foot travel trailer, that 26-foot travel trailer, that entry-level Class C motorhome. They're not in the market. They're not in the market for the truck. They're not in the market for the trailer. They're not in the market for the boat. They're really not in the market for the power sports. The power sports industry is down. The side-by-side industry is down. I talked to like half a dozen people over the last 2 weeks that own dealerships that sell Can-Am X3s, Razors, Polaris products, Kawasaki, Honda Talons, things of that nature. They said it has really slowed down. And it's slowed down compared to 2018-19. They don't even look at COVID because COVID was weird. But going back to 2018-19 is really slowed down with all those side-by-side purchases. Why? Because the people that have the 2 or 3 kids, work a job each, are more focused and worried about buying food at the grocery store than they are about going camping. These surveys they send out are a small portion of people. Okay? When you go into big cities where you would think most people would like to get out of the city for a little bit, there's a lot of folks that I've talked to just on a face-to-face basis that have kids and have a job, have a good career. They're not taking vacation this year. These are people who are in the middle class. These are the people that are supposed to have disposable income to do things like this. And they can't. In their mind, $200 a month payment, $250 a month payment plus insurance is right now in this day and age, that's 4 or 5 days of groceries to feed their kids. So the economy is not that great. It's not. It's okay. I still get those families coming out to buy used. Okay, I see a huge movement in the used market with those young couples that have kids. Because realistically, when you speak to them, the folks that are buying that have kids are on a strict monthly payment budget. I mean, I had one guy walked away over $7 a month because to them, $7 was the breaking point. They mapped it out. $7 over 12 months is X amount of dollars. That's the fuel that to go to this location they want to go to. So it takes away from one of the camping trips they planned. That's how to the dollar people are budgeting things right now. So when I hear things like this, it makes me kind of wonder, when are we all going to wake up and smell the coffee and realize that, and I know I normally don't talk about this, and just realize that I don't care if they're running for President of the United States, Senate, House of Representatives, governor, city councilman, mayor, and no offense if you are a politician. This is a general statement. You may not be like this, but I would say I don't trust anything that comes out of a politician's mouth. I don't care if they were a popular businessman on a reality show. I don't care if they have Alzheimer's. I don't care if they come from a rich family, poor family. I don't care what their cultural background is. If you are a politician, I don't believe a word out of your mouth. Because when you go face the reality, then you understand. Now, I believe in people like Stephen A. Smith on ESPN because Stephen A. goes to the grocery store and pays for his own groceries and picks out his own groceries. So he has a better understanding of where things are at than any politician out there, past or present. They all live in two worlds of la la land instead of reality. So, just food for thought. Okay, that segues into this motorhome thing. So, everybody complains about the liberal agenda or the conservative agenda or whatever it is. I find electric vehicle technology very interesting. I don't own one. Maybe one day when they become more affordable, I'll be in because I love technology. I love things like this, okay? But it says, this is on motortrend.com. I'll put the article link in the description of the episode. It says, Thor's all-electric recreational vehicle is a harbinger of future fun. Harbinger Motors is partnering with Thor Industries to create an all-new Class A RV using Harbinger's EV medium-duty truck chassis. So I'm going to assume this is going to be similar to the Axis or the Vegas, if you guys know what that is. Passenger cars, trucks, and SUVs aren't having all the fun when it comes to electrification. All kinds of other vehicle sectors are racing toward the electric future, including the commercial and recreational vehicle markets, which are in fact combined in this marriage between Harbinger and Thor Industries to create EV RVs. In this partnership, Harbinger will provide its electrified chassis and ADAS equipment, while Thor will add its body and various floor plans. These Harbinger medium-duty chassis are manufactured in Garden Grove, California. Hold on, let me be a Homer Simpson for a minute. Woohoo! Sorry, I'm an old Orange County brat, so kind of nice to hear when Orange County gets a little high five. From its frame all the way to its battery packs. Once assembled, Harbinger ships the chassis to Thor Industries in Elkhart, Indiana. Oh God! Whoops. Anyway, where Thor's innovation lab will create a new all-electric Class A RV. What really makes Harbinger's electric chassis unique is that the ADAS, Advanced Driver Assistance Systems technology that come included are also designed by Harbinger. One, a body has been mated to a chassis and the ADAS hardware such as cameras and sonar sensors has been installed. Harbinger instructs a customer like Thor to create a grid on the ground around the vehicle so the software can calibrate its systems to the specific vehicle body. Let me unravel that and then we'll continue. Let me unravel that a little bit, okay? First off, the reason why they're kind of saying this is because Airstream for a little while, not all the Airstreams, but some of the Airstream Class B motorhomes, the sensors for collision were completely, basically disconnected when they're putting certain floor plans together in certain year models. Okay, you didn't get the Mercedes stuff all the time, like adaptive cruise control, things of that nature. Now, that wasn't always every year, every floor plan. It was just simply certain models, certain floor plans. So Harbinger is basically instructing Thor, don't fuck with our shit. What we put in place, you can't fuck with it. You got to work around it. Okay? Love that. That's fabulous. Harbinger ADAS is limited to SAE Level 2 driver assistance, as the company's philosophy is to keep the driver in control while also mitigating some of the difficulties a large commercial or RV body can exacerbate. such as lane keeping, collision prevention, and line of sight issues. Future medium-duty chassis by Harbinger will be completely drive-by-wire to allow even more customization for driver position in a commercial platform. Now, look, I don't know if Thor is, and again, this is not a bad opinion, a good opinion, but I don't know if Thor is the right manufacturer to start this project, but I'd be willing to give them a chance, because at one point when I sold them, so I sold Thor Tuscany, Thor Challenger for a lot of years at Giant RV in California, and for the most part, they held up pretty good. Now, I ran into issues when I was at Barber RV, especially with the Class C motorhomes. Man, everybody keeps telling me all the time, oh yeah, the older RVs, they were built better. Man, for 15 years, I haven't seen anybody like perfect. The quality isn't getting worse. The quality's been the same. It's just different. There are different problems from the 80s coaches to 90s coaches, 2000s, 2010s, 2020s. The problems are just different. Okay? But for the most part, like you go back to 2012, 13, 14 with Thor, they did a pretty good job. They built a pretty good coach. And there was this like downfall where like every freaking hurricane, everything freaking Miramar, every single chateau, every coach, it was like, oh my God, what else is going to go wrong? And it wasn't going wrong when the customer had it necessarily. It was going wrong when they got shipped from the manufacturer. I remember that we got a set of Class Cs. Oh my God, I'm probably going to get slapped for this later, but that's okay. We had a bunch of Class Cs that came in where the furnaces weren't even plumbed. The materials were in the coaches, but they didn't finish plumbing the furnace. I mean, this is back in 2015 and 16, So, I mean, obviously it can't, obviously, that's probably an anomaly, but still, it's still funny as hell, right? So I'm willing to give it a chance and see how it comes out. What I don't want to see is a $200,000 invoice. That's my worry. My worry about this is they start coming out with this and then it becomes completely unfucking affordable. Motorhomes are already through the roof. I mean, middle class America can't even afford an entry-level Class C. Because your entry-level motorhomes are minimum $800-900 a month right now. It's a fucking truck payment, man. I mean, that's craziness. I mean, back when I was selling these things to most of the middle class America, your families, your 50 to 80, 90 grand a year families, it was like $450, $500 a month for a nice Class C. Now they sell for over $100,000 invoice. I had a Class C on my lot that no full body paint, no auto level system, from the factory, delivered to the lot, landed to the lot for $107,000. A Class C that in 2019, not that long ago, sold for $69,900 on the retail market. It almost went up 45%. So if this is like $200,000 invoice, it ain't going to work. Now, if it lands for cheaper than what Ford is charging for the chassis and everything else, if it lands for $80,000, $85,000, you could sell it for $89,900, $94,900 and still make your profit, still make your margin, and it's still affordable. But if it's like oh my God, if it's astronomical, if it's more than what gas coaches are going up for right now, ooh, I don't think it'll be a success. I think it'll be the next DeLorean story. If you guys know what the DeLorean story is, it'll be a flash in the pan. They'll sell what, maybe 50, 60 of them, and then they got to discontinue them because nobody can afford them. And I think Thor needs to realize and recognize that they probably should not mass produce this. If I were to be able to sit in front of Bob Martin today, who's the president and CEO of Thor Industries, if I were to talk to him, I would say, look, maybe if you had one dealer per what we call BTA. So like Northern California, very big state, or California, very big state. One dealer in Northern California, one dealer in Southern California, ship them one and take orders off of it. Okay. Don't ship 4 or 5, ship one. And they get to touch and feel. You have 4 or 5 floor plans, whatever you're going to create, 3, maybe 3 floor plans, whatever it's going to be. And if a person says, well, I want to touch and feel a normal the floor plan I want to buy. No, you don't get to, because they're going to ship a demo out to everybody in Canada and the United States, one per dealer. It's all going to be the same floor plan, so you can't go touch and feel one in another state. And you're just going to have to order blind. You know how many people do that with cars? They do it all the time. At least you get to touch and feel how the interior looks, and maybe have a really good content creator. This is where Matt's RV reviews, would come in handy. If you made General RV one of the dealers for this, and you had Matt and his team doing the walkthrough videos, I think it can do nothing but benefit that segment, because then you can produce whatever it's going to be, 100 of them total, and run with it. That's how I look at it. I'm very versed in motorhomes, but I don't have the team and I don't have the capacity to do it that professionally. I would love to do it, don't get me wrong. I would do it in a heartbeat if they invited me. That would be exciting for me. I would never be scared or nervous to do a walkthrough at a factory of a RV that's coming out like that. But I believe like Matt's RV reviews would be better. I think Matt would have a better opportunity to do it and get the content out there and searchable, unlike a little fish like me. So anyway, that's all I have for today. Thank you guys so much. Again, you can send the questions if I do get to do the Lippert thing. levingstonrvservices@gmail.com. Have a good night.